Well. Welcome back, listeners. We turn that off there. That's nice intro music. I decided I need some intro music for the show. Welcome to the Movies Podcast. And a special episode again. We are continuing with our interviewing stunt guys. The stunts choreography thing continues. We have a special guest later on today. But to start off, it's everyone's favorite segment, the rant segment. And people want to know, who is the target of my rant raconteur today? Well, it is a bunch of the dumbasses with the, vaccine deniers. They're just as bad as COVID deniers, and they're the same idiots who keep this shit going on. So my rant's on you. And we're gonna have a little note I'm gonna read from a fan and friend, Emily, who wrote this on Facebook today. I laugh at the boomers and Gen X people who let their brains rot to conspiracy bullshit, YouTube, TikTok, and etc. sources overtrain and long-term educated doctors, nurses, and etc. Agree. Or like this, where they still had all proper training in schooling and still got brain rot from 5 minutes of YouTube, TikTok, or whatever. Hey, I look at 5 minutes of YouTube, you know what? I look at fight scenes, funny shit, not listening to you bunch of fucking morons. Yeah, she wrote this is sad and pathetic even, which it is. If you're not a professional who can tell fact from made up bullshit, shut up. Use your brain, go read a book, go study. Perfect. You talk about people being sheep because they follow facts. If anyone's a sheep, it's you. If you're following some made up bullshit, actual facts and studies, done. Hang on a sec. That's how we all feel, and I am in total fucking agreement. That is ridiculous. Everything these idiots are saying is stupid. I'm seeing these damn morons out at restaurants saying, oh, if you're only vaccinated only here or COVID negative only, where are we gonna go? Go home. Yes, because you're the dumbasses that are gonna carry this Delta variant around and spread it around. I'm sick of hearing the jokes. I'm sick of hearing mockery. You know what? You're the morons keeping this shit going. And another kinder terms to say is, go fuck yourselves, all of you. Yeah, like a person who mocked COVID and the vaccine died of COVID. Oh, well, you're not getting sympathy from me. I don't give a flying fuck. You're not getting no sympathy from me. Same lady who said, Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Green really convinced me on this whole vaccine thing. I'm not getting vaccinated. See what happens. She died of COVID. Oh, well. Sorry to your family, but as far as your death goes, you get no sympathy from me. You listen to two hypocritical, sorry to say the word, cunts, and that's what you fucking get. Sorry. I'm not going to show any sympathy for your ass. Ever. So from everyone, Emily included, for her great statement, and here at the podcast, we want to say for all you COVID mockers and vaccine mockers, fuck you. Next. Well, it's been kind of a while, and as you see, I've been, I'm only trying to get work stuff over to YouTube. I had a couple more episodes added to the YouTube page. So it's building. It's just trying to get time for things. You know how it is, people. I'll get more on there, and I might put some a little bit later, because maybe when I do some interviews with other people down the road, I'm going to add some segments from them to those old episodes. They could have some good input. The Superman episode should be coming soon, next couple months. It's like, just people are busy. Trying to get Stephen Lambert interview set up. I did finish his book. His book is excellent. From the streets of Brooklyn to the halls of Hollywood. Check it out, people. It's great. And, yeah, but, he's also a busy man, too, so. It's like these interviews are coming, but these ones I was lucky to get. But when it comes to comments, I don't have that many comments this week. I do have, a little something we were commenting on. It's like kind of a back and forth. There was a little comment on YouTube, little comment on SoundCloud. I also had interaction with somebody on YouTube on Viking Samurai's comments, and question kind of being when it reverts to the whole Quentin Tarantino Bruce Lee thing. Well, I'm gonna say this. I am a fan of both. I'm not gonna change that. Am I a little disappointed? Yeah, big time. I'm very disappointed. I knew when I first watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I was so excited to see the movie, and I'm excited to read his book, which is a novelization of the movie with other stories, other background stuff. But when I watched the movie, I was kind of looking like, what the fuck is this? When I seen the Bruce Lee thing, the guy did a good job of the voice and the physical look. The hair was wrong for the time because he had like the Enter the Dragon hair when Green Hornet he had short hair. Then I started thinking, wait a minute, maybe this is how Cliff remembers it, but it's also a way of saying this is how the white Hollywood treated Bruce Lee, as he was arrogant prick when he wasn't. Oh, it was ingenious. He's trying to still make Bruce Lee look good. No, this is where the disappointment comes in. He was taking source material from a book written by one of these MMA Bruce Lee hater guys. You're killing me. I'm thinking he's the type of guy who will look at classic But he looked at this book, and he also looked at some stunt fuck who, one of the big crybaby people who cried on set anytime something happened. It was also a big racist ass. So when I seen you're using these sources, I was very disappointed. And then, the whole thing, yeah, he's not going to yell at Shannon Lee, he's talking about her father, but everyone else could suck a dick. I was like, come on, man. I mean, I'm not going to hate Tarantino. I'm going to love his movies. He's still an inspiration. And I'm still going to love Bruce Lee. I was disappointed because I thought, oh, me and Tarantino love all the same movies. Well, he just doesn't like some of the same martial arts movies I do. But, I'm going to have the neutral take on it. I'm not going to want to hang Tarantino in the town square, or I'm not going to say, yeah, these MMA guys are right, Bruce Lee, fuck him. No, fuck them. Yeah, you MMA, yeah, you fucking fight professionally, okay. You're talking about a guy who fought in the streets, created his own fucking style. Talk about all your fucking takedowns. Well, what are you going to do when he jumps right on your fucking head? And then there's MMA guys I like. Like, the guy who wrote this book, which is the real look at Bruce Lee, which is a whole just bunch of horse shit about how he was arrogant, he hated everybody, and he cheated constantly. It's just go fuck yourself. Yes, I'm going to read your book about your MMA journey. Yes, I probably will like that. But as far as your Bruce Lee book, fuck it, I'm not reading it. I will, but yes, I am a Tarantino fan still. Am I disappointed in him? A little bit, but doesn't mean I'm going to hate him. I'm going to be neutral about it, and just, you know what? I'm still going to enjoy the movie, no matter what. I'll just look at it's a fictional story, and I'm going to read the book when I get to it, when I finish the book I'm reading now. That's the other thing. Just don't have time to read anything. So, that's my take on it, in response to those comments. There you go. Yes, I am disappointed with Tarantino's feelings on it. Am I going to hate him? No. I'm still going to love Bruce Lee. I'm still going to love him. Still going to continue watching and loving their stuff. So, sorry, you're not going to get a crazy, fiery rant out of me. You already got it from those idiots. Yeah, I appreciate this show being neutral. I'm sick of fellow liberal shit this, virtue signal this, or go to hell this. Oh, no problem. That's how I want to be. I'm in the middle when it comes to politics. I think you're all stupid. That's all I'm going to say. When you try to sit there and go with the whole, oh, this and this and this, yeah, whatever. That's all I'm going to say. Big fan of Chris Pratt too, not a big fan of Tomorrow. I haven't seen it yet. Heard from Josh on his show, CCC Podcast, the recent episode. They didn't really like it too much. So I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if I want to see it. I will watch The Terminal List when it becomes the series, though. I will watch that. I got to read that book, though, whenever I get to it. Oh, what did you say you didn't agree with Gina Carano on conservatives are being buried in Hollywood? No, okay. That's what she was saying. No, that's the way she phrased it. It's like she's saying being conservatives like being a Jew in Nazi Germany. It's like, why would you use that phrasing? Do I believe they're all being kind of persecuted and not being used in Hollywood because of that? Yeah, definitely. That's how I'm going to say this. Like, I'm going to say what Dee Sharippa said on Joe Rogan. Shut up and act. Stop acting like you're the leader of the world. Stop the fucking virtue signaling. Who gives a fuck who he voted for? Let them act. If they supported what happened in the Capitol in January, well, fuck them. But if they're just, hey, we voted for this guy, oh well, he voted for this guy. Maybe he's got his reasons. There's people who say, hey, I voted conservative because the liberals don't support the military enough. Or they don't support certain people enough. They just shit on them to please these other ones, which is true. See, there you go. I'm ripping liberals just as much as I rip conservatives. It's not political. It's if you say or do something stupid, I will call you out on it. Like Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Green. You say and look stupid, so I will call you out on it. Yeah. It's kind of funny. You got blonde hair and dark hair. So light and dark, dumb and fuck. There you go. Oh, it's a negative one. I see you say shit to record on Twitter, and I see this shit, and I commented before, stop putting this fucking shows. I'm sick of it. Oh, are you YouTube? No, you're not. It's my fucking show. You don't tell me what to fucking do. You know what? You asked for it. Guess what? It's time to pull out the bag, everyone. Bag full of, you know what's in there. Letters.
Clap, clap, what's the letter? Clap, 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 clap. What's the letter? 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 The letter of the day is M. It's the letter of the day. It's the letter.
The letter of the day is M. And I'm going to let Viking Samurai give the word for the day using the letter M.
Motherfucker.
There you go. I'm going to say that to you. You don't say shit how I read my page. And then, you know what? The way I just read your comment, well, that's a translation from stupid to English. Because I don't even want to hurt my brain reading your damn comment again like I did last time. Fucking idiot. You know, I'm not going to block you. I want you to send more. But I'm not going to say your name. Because why should I give you any credibility or name value on my fucking podcasts? Yeah. If you want to say great comments, you're going to get a great name drop and praise on my show. If you want to say negative comments, you ain't getting shit. Well, like I said, short comments, short rant. Now on to our interview. Our interviewer comes from, you heard me mention a group many times, especially in Trend Setting. Current episode, it's up on YouTube right now. It's actually my very first episode I recorded. It's the 8711 group, created by Chad Slahesky and David Leach. No, it's not one of them. It's a good member of the group. His name is Don Thai Theerathada. I know I may have butchered that name, but we'll ask him the correct pronunciation in the interview. So here's our interview with Don. Let's take it away.
Hey, Jeremy.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Good. All right.
Thank you for agreeing to do this.
No problem. Sorry it took so long. It's just been crazy, you know.
I'm guessing 8711 is one of those, if you throw a rock, you're hitting a project being worked on, right?
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. Our guys, we're all over the place and covering a lot of territory right now. So
yeah, because like when I sent the emails out to like everybody down the list, and two other guys from there messaged back saying like, oh yeah, but one was still in Paris, and then he said I'll get stateside, it'll be a while. I'm like, I figured. And the other guy was like same deal. It's like, oh, he was gonna do it, and then an emergency came up, but then I didn't hear back, so I figured I got a project.
Yeah, more than likely. I mean, right now, if you go down to our shop, it's empty. There's no one back. I came back a few days ago and wanted to go stop by, but I don't even have time to go, and I had to fly out to Atlanta again on Sunday. So yeah, it's just nonstop.
And I'm guessing you can't talk about what you're working on.
No, I just finished Gray Man, and then I have to do some additional photography for let's just say it's a new Marvel series. So some touch-ups on that, if you will.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, when I sent the email out, this series I do with my podcast is I mostly talk about movies, but I wanted to get into talking to stuntmen, stunts, choreography, that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I always wanted somebody from your guys' crew for sure.
Right.
And I was just curious, like, was being in the stunts and coordinating stuff, was that something you want to do from the beginning, or did you fall into it?
No, yeah, it's a long story, but pretty much fell into it. I started in Asia, and it's like 28 years ago. So started over there, and then I didn't understand the business either. I didn't really, especially back then, like it wasn't very clear what stunts were. Like a lot of people back then, they just think like stunts are just a double, but then people didn't realize like there's a lot more to it than just doubling someone, especially for fights and stuff. There's coming up with the choreo and all that stuff, which is kind of newer. At that time, 28 years ago, fight choreographers and stuff were kind of rare. Either the performer, which is like Jackie Chan or someone, would kind of come up with their own choreo, or you have like a stunt coordinator like Yun Woo Ping, or like a couple people that would kind of come up with it. But as far as America is concerned, like it was very new. There was no, like, the position is still fairly new. But yeah, no, I didn't think about becoming a stunt coordinator or fight coordinator or any of that. I actually just enjoyed doing stunts. I enjoyed performing, and it was more about that, and kind of wanted to hold on to that as long as I could. I'm getting older now, so it's a lot more rough. So I'm still trying to hold on to those glory days, but time's not on my side and my age is not on my side. So I'm slowing down a bit, but it's just a natural transition. So you just kind of go from performing to, fight coordinating or stunt coordinating or whatever you decide, whichever direction you decide to go.
How long you been doing this?
28 years. Yeah. I technically started 29 years ago, but I don't count the first year because, it was kind of my first job and I was really green. But 28 years straight, like nonstop, been doing this. So I usually count the years. Like I don't like counting years that I didn't do anything, Yeah.
That's understandable. So I'm sure like a lot of people, like I said, 8711 is that you have a martial arts background.
I do. I mean, a lot of the guys at 87 have martial arts background, but not everyone. Yeah, that's the funny thing is, so like 87, we kind of started because we had a good group of martial arts goons, like our boss, Chad Stahelski, at that time was, in the beginning was Chad Stahelski, Dave Leach, and Damon Caro. We're all martial arts goons, like love those martial arts films and like training and all that stuff. So it was a good group that we had a similar interests and a similar type of training. So we would go and kind of learn from each other. Ended up learning more from like Chad because he's just a martial arts genius. I feel like he's the encyclopedia of martial arts with knowledge and skill. So yeah, as far as myself, I started off with Taekwondo and then did some Thai boxing, but then you start to evolve, it's just constant, it's constant learning. It's like I said, when I was a kid learning Taekwondo, you receive your black belt and it's not the end, that's just the beginning. And literally that's what it was. So like started learning, opening your eyes to everything else and trying to incorporate everything that we can, and it's still just nonstop learning. And that's why we've been lucky, because we have people like Chad, who, like I said, is the encyclopedia of martial arts. So he's constantly training us and teaching us new arts and new skills. Or if there are skills that he doesn't even know, then he'll bring in experts to help us with that. And then somehow he just masters that a lot faster than us, and then he trains us again. So yeah, we've been lucky to have, like, especially myself, I've been very lucky to have great mentors throughout my career. So it helped a lot with everything we're doing.
Well, I've been taking Taekwondo for the past few years, and I got my black belt almost a year ago.
Oh, congrats.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Just the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. I still do stuff with it, and I'm on
Yeah.
the next moves, and I've
Yeah.
been doing a Hapkido right now, so I'm
Good.
almost at a green belt. So
Okay, good. See, it's the same thing. Like you see what it's just, it's time. It really is. It's just so much time. And again, for us, it's more crash courses at this point, because we don't have like 5 years to develop the skills like, we did for like Taekwondo and stuff. So like, that's why it's good to have a base. And then from that base, you like a median to understand like the other skills, you can relate it to something, and whereas you're coming from somewhere completely new, it's harder to relate. But that being said, like I mentioned before, is 87 kind of we had a good group of people that were martial arts background. But then lately, we've been having a lot more people who don't have any martial arts background, and a lot of them were gymnasts. And I've seen a lot of those gymnasts through the training at 87 and other places grow to a point where like they are black belt level in their skill set. And in the end, it's kind of, we don't want to say fake it till you make it, because one of my boss is saying is like, how do you fake being good? Is be good. So I don't want to say fake it till you make it, but like it helps. Like the gymnastics skill is very, I would say, kind of similar to martial arts background, because you do get the skill set of like flexibility and explosive power and body control, so it's easier if you have that skill set to start picking up new stuff, if that makes sense.
no, yeah, I totally get everything you were saying when it comes to like the whole "don't fake it till you make it" type stuff. Yeah, I get all that.
Yeah.
I always said that I'm happy when I'm doing martial arts, but I always looked at it, man, I should have started years ago or kept up with it years ago, because I did it here and there, but then just like I fell out of it and stuff. So
Right.
I mean, I still loved it. But I was like, I kept looking back like constantly, like, I should keep going, and finally, like 2 years ago, I was like, my friend Amber just said, like, if you don't do it now, you're not doing it. So I was like, you know what, let's do it now. And then when I kept going, I'm like, keep going.
Yep. Just gotta keep going.
Yeah, and then when I see, we teach this thing now, it's just keto, like, I want to learn it.
Yeah, exactly. And the whole fake it till you make it thing also, it ends up translating, especially in what we do, because our job is not only to, choreograph and entertain, but we, at least I do, and a lot of us, we want to take the audience and bring them into that world and feel that, the struggle and believe the things that we are choreographing, believe the things that we're putting together. So it's kind of like acting, being good actor and bad actor, right? So like you give someone the lines or a script, and then they go out, act it, they say the words and stuff, but you don't feel it. It's the same thing when it comes to fights and choreography. Is like you can know the moves and do it, but if you don't really understand it and really apply it, it just looks like choreography, and you don't feel the danger, and you're not taking the audience along that ride of being in the other person's shoes. It ends up just being like theatrical, like ballet dance kind of just movement at that point, if you will.
What was like some of the first, like, you started when you did stunts? You started out here in America, or did you start back?
No, I started in Thailand, and I started doing stuff out there with Sengwari. He's a very accomplished stunt coordinator in Thailand, and he's part of Tony Jaa's group, that whole group. Back then, Tony wasn't around. I mean, he wasn't famous at that point, but I started with that whole group, and then started building a name for myself, and had Jackie Chan come and kind of took me in and started mentoring me. So I went back and forth to Hong Kong and met with him a lot there. And he was one of the guys that told me to move to America, because I kind of want to prove something to myself too, and like see where I stand, So he told me to go to America, and it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even have to be stunts or whatever. Just learn everything you can about the business, and doesn't matter how much they pay or whatever. Just go be a sponge. And that's pretty much what I did. And that's where I learned, how to shoot, edit, and all that stuff. I did everything. I was first AD, boom operator. So it just made me really understand the business, which helps with, especially now, coordinating stuff, it plays a big part in that. But yeah, like, so, again, like I said, then I met with Chad and the 87 gang, and was able to have, some great mentors and kind of mold me to be where I am now, along with many other people at 87,
Okay. What was like some of your first big American project you worked on?
The very first big movie I did in America was Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End.
Oh.
And it was crazy. I mean, because you hear working in Asia, our budgets aren't the same. Even when you're working on a Jackie Chan film, it's not the same like what we think Hollywood is, So over there, you always have that, oh, everyone's trying to be like Hollywood. Everyone's trying to be like Hollywood. And I first came here, I did a TV series first, like in the commercials and all that stuff. But like the biggest project I started with was Pirates. And it just kind of blew my mind with all the special effects and all the production design and how massive a movie can be, and it was just crazy. Yeah.
And I guess what you were like doing the stunt itself, or did you do some coordinating in there?
No, not coordinating at all. I was just one of the stunts pirates. I was one of the guys that had to jump from all the different positions. So we would have like, the Asian pirates and the Flying Dutchman and so on and so on. And I was kind of like jumping back and forth between costume, playing this part, then going to do another part and blah, blah, blah. Because the way it was set up is like, you have your ship and we did quadrants, right? So depending where the camera would see, it would see like this quadrant and not see this side. So like they need a certain type of stunt guys on this side. So I would run and jump in that and then change and be on this side and blah, blah, blah. So it was just kind of nonstop for me, but it was a lot of fun. And yeah, I kind of learned a lot because we had such a big crew back then too. Like working on a movie with hundreds of stunt guys is very rare these days. It's very rare, at one time, because it just the amount of money it costs to hire each stunt person is just a lot,
And what was like your first big movie you got to really coordinate and stuff?
Oh gosh. I don't know. I mean, like Expendables 2 was a big transition because, I was a fight coordinator on that and it was really cool. I did Expendables 1, but I wasn't a fight coordinator. I was one of the core stunt guys, stunt team. And then Expendables 2, I was a fight coordinator. So it was kind of cool because you're working with, massive stars and big names that I grew up with. So it was, again, one of those things where like a lot of times I like working on projects and picking them because of certain interest to myself, whether it be like just nostalgia or a project that I think I can learn something new with or something like that. But like, yeah, Expendables is definitely one of those where like, I grew up watching these guys in the theater and looking up to those big superstars. And it was really, really cool to be around them and like, I'm freaking telling Arnold Schwarzenegger what to do, it's just like, it's just crazy. And Sylvester Stallone and all those people. And, luckily I worked with Sly many, many times now, and he's very strict, but I mean, the guy, a lot of people make, some people make fun of him and all that, but he is legit. That guy, like, when it's really cool to work with people you idolize and then seeing that they really are badass, and they're really cool. He might not be like the nicest guy at points on set, but that's his work, and the thing is he's not lazy. He goes, he goes and he goes big. So it was really cool.
Fight coordinate, you got to coordinate fight between Van Damme and Stallone at the end?
I did, yes.
That's nice.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is it was really cool. It was in that whole movie, that was the most exciting fight that I think I had in my mind at the time, because I really wanted to do something cool with that, and I had a lot more ideas. Biggest problem with film is, and this is kind of what we've, like, all the stunt coordinators and fight coordinators kind of strive for, is we all have a vision, and we have a vision of like what we want to see, and then what we feel that the audience wants to see. The problem is a lot of times you have a plan and you want to do something epic, but due to restraints of like budget or time, you don't get to see that all the way through, because we're dealing with people, a lot of different people who have different visions as well. So it's very rare where we get a project that everything we want to do goes that way. And I think that's kind of why, we're all striving to like at least myself, I want to direct my own film and everything, because I really want to get to a point where I can put out the work I truly visualize and foresee, and get it out for everyone else to see. And I think that's why it worked for Chad and Dave. And, again, because they're great, they're super talented. And also same thing is they don't always get everything they want up on that screen. And there's always that fight, like, oh, trust us, blah blah blah, and they're like, no, and that's the thing, like 87, where we tend to be very violent. We love violence, and the more violent the better. Obviously, like, we had to tone it down a lot because of the whole PG-13 and R stuff. So a lot of the movies, they prefer, especially at that time, to be PG-13 just because it's easier to make that money back. However, we always try and push for, like, we want R and blah 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 violence, and they're always scared to do it because it becomes a bigger risk. And that's the cool thing of when Chad and Dave went and did John Wick, they finally were able to do like what they want. The whole premise of Wick, or the style of the fights for Wick, we kind of all developed that style a long time ago, way before Wick. And it's just, we tried to do it and we were never able to get it out there. Like, it's just, for whether it be the star didn't want to go that direction, or the film doesn't want to be that violent, or whatever it was, we weren't able to get it out. And then when Chad and Dave were finally able to do Wick, they got it out, and it worked. Right? It was R. It did very well, made a lot of money, and I think it kind of revolutionized that whole rating, if you will. People started getting more confident with it. I remember, like, Deadpool came out and they went R, and I remember there was discussions with Logan, the last Wolverine film. They were also discussed because that was one of the biggest things too, is like, Wolverine is such a great character, but you don't get to fully utilize that character unless it's R, because he's a very R character, and and that goes for like Mortal Kombat and stuff like that too. Those are so it's just one of those things where it's slowly evolving, and people are able to see that, okay, maybe these R ratings work, and they're starting to invest in these projects more now. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, because one thing I've been liking about you guys and your crew is you're getting away from that whole stupid shaky cam thing.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's the other thing with us, is we have a special training regimen that we do, that we put all the actors and stars into. It's kind of dependent on them. Like, a lot of times, like, when there's a project and we know this project's going to be action, and these actors need to be able to do so and so and so and so, there's a discussion with the directors and producers of like who to use, and there's maybe a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that people don't realize is, like, we have a lot of say in who gets casted, because we like to try and avoid all the shaky cam. A lot of shaky cam stuff it's just to hide the lack of skill, if you will, of the performer. And unfortunately, like, we always would love to see the face of the star more than the stunt double. So the more that the star can do, the less shaky cam we have to do, and the wider we can see, the longer takes we can use, and the skill of their performance is, we can see better. So, like, it's not always. Some people just like the shaky cam thing, whether the performance is good or not. That's kind of up to them. But as far as us, we prefer to see like a bigger, wider version of that take, if you will.
I understand, like you did say, hide lack of skills, because they had those guys that like do the reviews, good bad stunt stuff on YouTube. I think they've had some stunt guys on there before, and they showed one of the Taken movies. And they went down frame by frame, and you could see one of the frames that Liam Neeson doesn't even connect with a headbutt. But when you see it so fast on screen, you're like, oh wow, that was really cool. But you look, you're like, wow, what?
Right, exactly. It's a cheat, and that's the thing. It's just one of the techniques. It's just like, cinematic technique. Well, it's not just even for fights, but a lot of things. For, like, let's just say you have a bad prop, and then you can tell it's like, if you stay on it, it looks really fake. So, but that's all you have. So you try to use it, and then, like, do quick cuts or whatever cheat you can to not make the audience realize that it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, there are different techniques too, because don't forget, like, especially someone like Liam Neeson, he's older.
Yeah.
So it's just, these fight sequences take a big toll on your body, whether you're older or younger, so doing multiple takes is just a lot for them. And sometimes, like, you do have to cheat because you just don't want to put them through another take of that. Maybe like everything else worked except for the headbutt. Now you just got to cheat that headbutt, so just so that we don't have to put him through that gruel, that process again. And yeah, so there's a lot of factors involved. Yeah.
Oh, I know. I talked with the Bourne series on another interview, and they're saying about how each film's good in its own story wise, but when it comes to the whole fight scene, scene, they've always told me they like first one because you could see all the moves he's doing.
Mm-hmm,
And then the other
mm-hmm.
one, like even the third one when he fights it, Joey Ansa, like you can see some good sequences, but then it's like cuts to the, you're like, whoa, whoa, what? Come on, I wanted to see what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah, I know, and that's where it gets tricky, especially because the firstborn, when it came out and stuff, it started having a lot more of those quick cuts and tighter angles, but and people seem to like it, and then they kind of follow that style. So that was kind of, I think, it was a stylistic choice along with the skill set choice, but like yeah, it's just again, it's just dependent on each thing. It's just like for instance, like Ninja Assassin. Chad and Dave did that movie, and I saw a lot of the choreo, the behind the scenes, and like the wider versions of it. It's just they had some amazing stuff, and then the problem was like once you saw it in the theater and the final cuts, it was I felt it lacked a lot of the stuff that people could have enjoyed watching, because it was amazing, some of the stuff they had like from the wide angle, and sometimes you just want to see it, and then in the theater sometimes it's too dark or whatever, you can't see it, and it's just kind of hit or miss, again, the
Yeah,
stars all align,
yeah, because I think he said something about when he was trying to get John Wick made, he was talking to like other
Mm-hmm.
directors, editors. They're saying, "Well, we could do this." It's like, and he even said it doesn't work that way. And I think the editor made just like an offhand comment. Well, why don't you direct it yourself? And he went, "Okay," and it
Yeah,
works.
exactly,
And they,
you know
they had to shut their mouth then because he just
yeah,
said, "All right,
yeah.
fine."
Hmm.
I would still like, even though you had the chick game going on, you would still get like Jackie and Jet and Jason Statham still doing
Hmm.
normal things. I was like, okay, I at least see. And I even heard somebody in the theater complain watching a Statham movie. It's like, oh, I have to see all these kicks and punches. I'm like, what?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, again, like those guys are, like you said, those people you mentioned, they're all great. They're very talented in real life, and those are guys who put in the hours, especially like Statham. He came and trained with us every morning, not even for a certain project, so he's there like when he's not filming. Keanu's always training, and you really see it in the product. And that's the thing, is it's funny because like every project now, especially after Wick, and whether it be TV or whatever, they're like, oh, we want Wick, and we're just like, well, okay, how much time do we have to train this actor or this actress? And they're like, oh, maybe a week. It's like, you can't get
Yeah,
Wick with training. Like I think a lot of people don't understand, like Keanu before Wick 1, he would be coming in there, I think we, from what I remember, I think we were training him for like 9 months before we even started the film, so like he had all that training before. But don't forget, like Keanu, it wasn't just the 9 months before that, but Keanu's been doing this forever. I mean, think of like, look at the Matrix, the training that he went through for Matrix alone. He's just been through a lot, and the guy's already talented before like we even started Wick. So it's just like you can't be like, oh, we want Wick, oh, but our actor or actress has never done this before, and we have a week to train him. It's just like, okay, it doesn't work that way. Okay, now that's when, okay, bring in the shaky cam. It's like, that's just,
yeah.
you have no choice at that point, right? Because sometimes they want what they want, even though like I might not like shaky cam or whatever, but like this is all we can do at this point in time, So it's, like I said, it just depends on the circumstance of a lot of things involved, So.
Keanu, did you get to see or do any work with Charlize Theron at all?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. In the very beginning, I helped train her for Atomic Blonde. John Valera was the trainer, and I was kind of one of the guys helping out. And it was really cool because she was training for Atomic Blonde while Keanu was there training for Wick. And obviously they know each other, and it became one of those things of like competing against each other. Like Keanu would be over there, and he'd just be taking a break, like breathing from the skill set he just did, and then Charlize would give him shit, be like, "Come on, Reeves, get up, blah blah blah." He's just like, how old I am, that kind of thing. So it was fun. There was a little competition going on, even though they're two different movies, but we're sharing the floor,
Oh,
But she's also super like gung ho. Like Charlize was, it's kind of one of those things you got to have that drive in you. And the thing is with like Keanu and Charlize and Jason Statham, Jason Momoa, all these guys and women are like, they have that drive. They really want it, and someone like Charlize, she's very established. She's very, she's an A-lister. And sometimes some of these A-listers can be spoiled. She's definitely not one of those. She puts in the work. She's there, she could be hating it, but she's there to work and do it properly. And that's why I said like some of these people like Sly, they have that work ethic.
yeah.
And you see it in the work. Like I said, I'm going back to the whole like acting thing, right? You want it to be believable. And the thing is, when they put in that work and they know that struggle, it becomes believable. And the thing that I would say, like one of the secrets is especially for Wick and for Charlize in the Atomic Blonde and the movie Wick, the Wick series, is you feel their struggle, you feel their pain and like they're out of breath, they're tired. Like Wick just went through all this and he's still, he has no choice but to keep fighting. Same thing with Charlize in the Atomic Blonde is, she just got her, ass handed to her big time, but you feel her pain and struggle and you kind of, you feel that through the training, so it helps a lot.
It seemed like when I watched Atomic Blonde, I tell her with especially her fight, she was kind of like, I gotta step this up. She's probably like seeing Keanu, like, I gotta top that. She's
Yeah,
the type,
it was
like,
definitely competition. It's definitely competition.
and then like his next movie, he was doing more intense stuff. Like, okay, he wants to do this, let's do this.
Yeah.
But did you get to actually do any work or any background stuff on any of the John Wicks at all, or no? You have other?
No, I did more, helped out with the training on some things, and I came in and helped out with on set, as a member for free, whatever we could. But that was more John Valera, John Eusebio, Chad, Dave, they're really the heart of those series. And like, those are our A-listers, Daniel Hernandez, they're the A-listers at 87. They're the badasses, so they did a lot of those.
Oh, yeah, you had said something like, oh, I'm in Europe. If he wants to hold John Wicks in Europe, so he must be working on that. But you're like, no, I'm working on this movie. That's why I said, are you working on a fourth movie or by chance? You're like, no, that's not me.
Yeah, no. We were there, like they're over there right now. They started Wick 4, but I was doing the Gray Man, the Ryan Reynolds. I mean, I'm sorry, not Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans and that whole gang over there, the Russo brothers.
Yeah.
It's different now, Back then in the beginning of 87, we had a really good core team, and the A-listers like John Valera, Jonathan Eusebio, Daniel Hernandez, and a whole bunch of others. Like we were all working together on the same project. But now, like, everyone's grown and they're kind of all running their own projects. We're kind of all spread apart now. So it's just like, the days are gone,
Yeah. I was just saying a second ago, I said like it's okay to get Brian's confused. Even Reynolds' wife gets confused sometimes. So.
Yeah. Sorry. Well, no, because I just worked with Ryan Reynolds. Also, I did some reshoots and stuff, mocap shoots for Free Guy. So it's just like dealing with a lot of Ryans.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I've seen John Wick when it came out. I love Keanu Reeves. Like I'm thinking, I watch movie. Yeah, it's not surprising seeing Keanu do all this because he always comes off like a physical guy.
Yeah.
And I seen what Charlize did in some of these other action films. I figure, okay, she could pull all this off. But then it's like, I knew 8711 must be something special if you made Better Call Saul an action hero. Because when I watch Nobody, I'm like, I gotta see this because I just can't see him next to it. But when I watch it again, I'm like, wow, I'm just pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, and that's why I say, like, we have our route. We know how to train these guys and women and get them to the point we need with a certain amount of time. So it's a process, and we're just used to it now. We know what works.
I always love watching the 8711 YouTube page and seeing all these like previs stuff you guys do, and like I see you do these fun videos. It's like, hey, we're gonna do this like little video of this. I'm like, this is fun stuff.
Oh yeah, like the promos and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So like for instance, like those promos, same thing. You're kind of doing like that's a super crash course, for the like Wicks or whatever we're promoting, and you're getting people who never done this and trying to teach them really fast and do a quick little fun sequence with them. But granted, that like that's one day. Imagine we actually had time and did everything properly, then you see how much better it would be.
I mean, you could tell in like John Wick or Atomic Blonde and stuff. Yeah, because I could see that. Because I even heard in the interview, I think Daniel Bernhardt, he's the one guy I'm a big fan of, like a lot of his like '90s films.
Yeah, Daniel's great. Yeah.
Yeah, he was talking about he did the fight scene with Charlize, and he said the one scene he did something, did the hit or something like that, and she was like, "Come on, you can hit me harder than that." Like,
oh yeah, she'll call you out. Like, that's the cool thing about Charlize. She'll talk shit about you.
Like, yeah, right away. He's like, she's thinking as a woman and an Oscar winner, I want to throw her hard, and she was like, come on, don't be a pussy, let's do it. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, that's what's great, and that's like why we love working with these people, because they're trash talkers. Because we all are, everyone at 87, we're all trash talkers. So it's one of those things that puts a fire under your ass and then go.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I first heard of the group when I was watching watching the podcast that Scott Atkins did with all these martial artists, and then I heard A711 come up, and that's when I seen the one with Chad, and he was going through like, oh, these are my styles, and I had to keep rewinding, like, what did he say? Because he was going, I'm like, what's one?
Yeah, yeah,
And then it's like
yeah.
then I started thinking, because I mean he's a director, like, I was like, why did he throw himself in a cameo fighting John Wick in there or something? Because he was like,
Yeah, that's the funny thing is like trying to, for instance, like we need a double for Keanu or something that not that Keanu can't do. He can do everything himself, but sometimes like we just need to throw that extra thing in there. We're just like, Chad, why don't you just jump in real quick? Because he looks just like Keanu, and it's just like, come on, just do it for old time's sake.
I seen like the picture of him on set of Matrix with the whole outfit, and I said from a distance you could even tell it's even him.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, it's just like a couple of times because like when we were doing Matrix, I was talking to Keanu and stuff, and we were referring back to some of the previous Matrix. So we were like, oh, in this fight when you did this, and he said, oh, that wasn't me, that was Chad. I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know. It's like it fooled me because it was like full on face of Chad, and I was like, I thought that was you, and yeah, so it's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because he even said in an interview like, oh yeah, that's what I do. He does that like triple kick. That's me. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
you can't even tell. It's like I'm
yeah. I
thinking, oh,
can't
it's
tell.
wire work with Keanu or something. Like, no, that's
Right,
him.
right. No, some of
He,
it's him.
yeah,
But again, don't forget Keanu did a lot. I mean, that guy,
yeah.
yeah, he's
I
badass.
I
Yeah.
seen was on a YouTube thing that Tiger Chen posted, and he had like a training video of like Keanu in a neck brace practicing kung fu. I'm like, what is he?
Oh, yeah.
He's in a neck brace. What is he doing? I'm like, yo, dude, sit down now. We got
No,
this guy.
yeah.
He can be all right.
Keanu's one of those guys where he'll just keep going and you just have to tell him, okay, look, calm down. Take a break. It's enough because like he's a stubborn man. He wants to do it and he wants to do it right. So like he's one of those where like if it's good, it's like, okay, that was good. It's like no, it has to be excellent. He wants to do it proper, like proper form, proper so and so. And sometimes we're like, oh, it's fine. It's like it's correct. The audience won't be able to tell. It's like no. But what's the true way of doing this? And he likes to stay true to that, which is really cool. Which is very cool.
Yeah, because then I have another Chad tell a story in the interview. It's like he has that crazy work ethic. Because I heard he went from getting hit by a car to warming up with the stunt team afterwards. It's like, all
Yep,
right,
yep.
let's warm up. And he had like blood coming off his head and stuff. It's like
Yeah.
I would look at like, okay, dude, get your head wrapped up first, and we'll do this. He's probably like,
No.
no, but yeah, I can see when I see that video of like, there's Keanu in a neck brace, lowering his. I'd be like, no, dude, take a second, dude, just really, you're neck heel. You're probably like, no, dude, this is like okay,
Yeah.
but
It's
yeah,
funny.
no, but yeah, that's questions all I had. But no, but thank you very much for this.
No problem.
No, but yeah, like I know for sure. Like when I went on the list of people, and I was even looking up your work, and then I seen Expendables 2. That's why I wanted to be sure. Like, did he really do that? So I grew up on Stallone too, especially big time. He's
Yeah.
tells me like, oh, my favorite action hero is like Arnold. Like me, it was always
Right, right.
even though I was like kind of skeptical when the new Rambo came out because I thought the fourth one ended so perfectly, but I still watched it. Like somebody asked me like, how was it? Like it was
Have
it's
to, yeah.
Rambo,
Yes.
Rambo. It's
It's one of
Rambo.
those things. Have to,
Yeah,
right?
because I
Yeah.
know it's one of those like, yeah, the time he does a movie, and of course people be like, oh, did you see that movie? It was this. I was like, you kidding me? That was great. Like, get
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah.
But no, actually, yeah, I learned actually pretty good a lot today, and I
Cool.
always love this pretty cool with 8711, and I actually and it's Gray Man you were working on with the
Mhm.
well, I'm getting Ryan's confused now. I'll say
Yeah, it's
Ryan.
Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans, Ana de Armas, and a whole bunch of other people, Billy Bob Thornton. There's a long list of big names in there. But it's, the Russo brothers directed. And yeah, hopefully we have something cool with that. It was a lot of work. The whole COVID thing was a big issue,
Oh
but
yeah.
just what we have to deal with these days.
Yeah, because especially because I was surprised that I even got my black belt tested in last year with the whole COVID thing, but they're starting to open up things. I was able to do it.
Yeah,
Thankfully,
yeah.
it was just us in there that I didn't have to wear a mask during that test, or else I would have been extra.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's rough working out with a mask on. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh
But
yeah, no, I do the same thing. If I'm on a riding a bike and I'm on a trail and I'm just me, I'll pull it down. But if I'm in a
right,
group, I'll pull it up. Even though I'm
yeah,
fully vaccinated, I'm just doing it out of
yeah.
respect
You
for the
have to,
ones that
yeah.
aren't. So,
Mm-hmm,
but
mm-hmm, totally.
oh, I can't wait to see more of your work. Definitely, because I mean,
Cool. Thank
yeah,
you.
I seen it's like I said that you mentioned you worked on this stuff with Stallone. I'm like, okay, I'm liking this guy's work already. So,
Thanks.
But no, and then also mainly the work of you guys group and stuff. And I'm pretty sure it's like, busy all the time over there, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's pretty hectic. I mean, we've been very lucky with the amount of work we got and the amount of work we're getting. So, it's been very good for us. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he probably had like a time where he said, "Oh, I'm taking a break because of COVID." He's probably saying, "Coordinate some fights, though. Write some coordination down or something."
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty much nonstop, and that's the thing with us. It's like if we're not working like on the actual project, we're supposed to be at 87 every morning. We start at 7 a.m. So wake up at like 4:30 a.m., get there and put in the work, and that's what we expect of people too. Is because a lot of people are like, oh, well, you're not getting paid for that, but no, that's not true. You are. Like the work that you get out of it should cover the training process. So like, if you're not working, you should be there training.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of our work ethic. Yeah.
Yeah, like you said with the martial arts, just because you have the black belt doesn't mean it's over. You get more.
Exactly.
No, but yeah, definitely look forward to seeing more of your work, and
Thank
hopefully
you.
get your directorial debut going.
I hope so too. We'll see.
Yeah. Hey, I've written scripts and I hope to sell one someday. So
Good luck to
yeah,
you. Yeah,
yeah.
it's a rough business, but just gotta again keep
Oh yeah,
pushing and
that's
keep
what I'm
going.
doing. And definitely
All
when I have
right.
a big action film, I'm coming to you guys. Like, hey,
Okay,
put this
sounds good.
together.
We'll be here.
I have some choreography, but you know what? I want some input on it. See what you guys think
No
too.
problem. No
But hey,
problem.
you have a good day, and yeah, keep up good work, dude.
You too, sir.
All
Take
right, thank you. Yeah,
care.
thank you again. And before you go,
Yeah.
I did an intro. How do you pronounce your last name? I want to make sure I got it right.
Okay, so everyone knows me as Don Thai,
Yeah,
Thai. That's because obviously it's easier to say, but my full name is Don Theerathada.
I got it right. I
Yeah,
wanted to
but
be
in
sure.
Thailand, the H is silent, so it's Theerathada. So
Okay.
just like Thailand, Thai. Yeah, so the H is silent. So, but
I
again, Don Thai is the easiest, and that's what people know me.
All right. All right. Well, when I get this episode done, should be this week if, nobody, drops a billion things on me. I'll
Gotcha.
definitely post it on the Instagram with the links and I'll tag you in it and
Cool.
stuff.
That's good.
All right. And I'll see you later, man. Yeah, I hope
Take
you
care,
keep up.
buddy.
Hey, you too.
Thank you.
Wow, man, that was excellent. And that was from Don. I got it right. Theerathada, but he calls himself Don Thai. It's a lot easier. That was excellent stuff he got today. I mean, learned a lot. I mean, and I did get to hear he did coordinate Expendables 2. He did coordinate a lot of stuff with Stallone. We heard, the secrets like we always knew. Stallone was a badass. We all know that Keanu was a badass. We all know that Charlize is a badass. And had a lot of good stuff there. And yeah, like he even says, which is be kind of a theme with these next couple episodes, is you have this big thing you want, just keep pushing. We're gonna talk to special stuntman on stunt person, martial artist on Saturday who has the same deal, who, he had to keep pushing for what he wanted to accomplish and not dealing with bullshit. But no, yeah, thank you again, Don Thai, for this great interview. But we're here at the end of the episode, and like you hit going with my rant earlier, the stupid thing with the unvaccinated. I don't want to be that guy that says militarize getting vaccinations done, but you know what? Maybe it ought to be done because this is bullshit. I am tired of this. I want this thing to go away. Now they're saying it can mute to the point where vaccines are, not going to work. Any dumbasses keep this going. Stop with the whole we're all sheep. You're all sheep. You listen to fucking idiots. And what? Rants might make you grr, might get you thinking. And yes, we got to answer some good comments today. I'm hoping more comments will come in, answered it then, or else we might just jump in the intro, rant on what's stupid this week. Very likely it's from Green or Yogurt or Bozo or whatever the fuck her name is. About dumb assholes. And well, we have it's happier news. With the Olympics are going on. Unfortunately, it's hampered like everything by COVID. So it doesn't have that good grand feel because there's not crowds there. Thing where we were talking about Taekwondo. Hayes' first thing was Taekwondo. My first big one was Taekwondo. I've took others in my life, but the one I really stuck out with was Taekwondo. An 18-year-old Anastasia Zolotic, might be saying her name wrong, just became the first American woman to win Taekwondo gold at the Olympics. So our art's prominent in the Olympics. I'm pretty sure they're doing karate since it's and they don't want Korea to have all the fun, unfortunately. I know that's racist. I know there's rivalry before people flip out. Yes, I know there's rivalry for years. Just a joke. I want to say congratulations to Anastasia on her big win and keep up the good work. Just keep killing it. And well, it's like it's that time of the hour. I hope you all enjoyed the interview. I hope you all enjoyed the rants. I'm sorry, comments couldn't be that much longer, but we didn't have that many this week because unfortunately I've been focusing more on trying to get the YouTube page going, bringing stuff over. But, please subscribe and check out, the new stuff coming on. I know, unfortunately, you hear my first episodes. I don't sound like as jovial or hitting it like I am right now. But, hey, I picked up my rhythm. I even say this is my first episode, so you could tell me picking up my rhythm a little bit. But in the meantime and in between time, thank you for stopping by. And instead of me giving you my send off, I'm gonna have you a nice send off, which is actually every common American's words for these congressmen and their good stand.
Hi, Senator. I am a proud citizen, and I just wanted to tell you to get fucked.
Have a good day.